Hey everybody, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and NPD by somebody that has both. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Seriously, do it now. Do it now while you're thinking about it. You'll forget later. And do all the socially things that are scrolling past you on the screen right now. Also, come in the Patreon. It's awesome, right? There's like loads of stuff that isn't on here and a Discord and all kinds of things. I did a live show the other night. It was great. Come on in. Join us, be one. Anyway, I'm having a shifting sense of self episode. This is a new one on me. I've never really had this one. It's definitely happening though. I've talked about this years ago at this point and never come back to it. BPD and the shifting sense of self and what that means and how that plays out. And it's possible that anything I said about it before was speculative bullshit because I've never really been through it. And now I'm going through it again. It's very weird. Oh, I might have been through it before. But now it feels more substantial. So, when back in 2019, when I closed a business and eventually left a relationship, it became clear how much of my identity was tied up in those things. I was known for being in that relationship within the world of the business that I worked in. And there was a lot tied up in it, especially from an identity point of view. I was the guy that did that thing with that person sometimes. And losing both sort of just left me bereft. And when lockdown started, I'd had lots of plans to restart life, right? To get back on the horse, so to speak. Stuff I wanted to do. To get a life, right? I've been talking about that a lot recently. And then lockdown came and just shut the door on all of that immediately. And I sort of returned to this holding pattern. This sense of identity that didn't really exist. That was sort of still tied to that old relationship. Because although the business was gone, that there were sort of remnants of that relationship still there. And I could sort of kid myself and hold on to that and get some sort of identity from that. And we'll come back to that. And then as life moved on, I discovered other things that life had to offer. And started building up a new sort of sense of identity surrounding these new things that I'd found. And that new sense of identity was a massive departure for me. It was something completely out of the blue that hadn't been around before. And that sort of leaves you to question a number of things. Like, is this out of the blue? Had it been around before? Was it just that I hadn't been in the right environment for that part of me to thrive? That it wasn't necessary before? And so I started to build this new sort of sense of identity out of these new things I'd discovered. And because it was such a departure, I've eventually ended up rejecting it and coming back to what feels like, I don't know. I still don't know who this person is yet properly. I'm getting there. I'm not entirely comfortable. And yet it becomes more complicated than that. Because while this lack of sense of self comes from the BPD, there is an NPD element to it. And that NPD element means that I need some sort of public acknowledgement of me, right? It's not enough that I merely exist and I'm happy and live the life I want. I have this pressure that comes from inside me that needs other people to see me living this life that I want, and to hopefully be envious of this life that I have and wish they had it, and so on and so on. And so I'm left at this crossroads where I'm trying to decide, do I turn left and go headlong into this new thing? Do I embrace that? Do I say, that's who I am now? That's how I'm going to live my life. I'm going to be like that from now on. Or do I stay here in this more familiar but feels more vulnerable, feels weaker? I don't like this feeling as much, but the other side scares me because it's such a departure. And I don't want to get so far into it and then reject it again, because that's not fair to people. I'm going to hurt others again, and I didn't want to hurt anybody in the first place when I rejected this whole thing, and I'm going to end up doing that again if I don't get it right. So this is not an easy decision to make. And it's all brought on this lack of sense of self, this who the hell am I? What do I do? What do I like? What do I want out of my life? How do I react to things? What do I care about? What bothers me? Why do those things bother me? And it goes on and on and on. And I don't know the answer to any of these questions. I don't know what I want in the future. I know what I want right now. Like right now. That's easy. But that changes from minute to minute, from day to day. And when things change that severely, that quickly, you can't have other people involved. You just end up hurting them over and over, and I'm not prepared to do that. So here I sit, asking that question. Who am I? What do I want? What makes me happy, for God's sake? Are there things I can put up with? Are there things I have to let go? Are there things I perceive as failures I have to just accept? Or do I continue to fight against them? Are they even failures in the first place? I don't know. And I'm talking shit at this point, right? A lack of sense of self leaves you feeling bereft, empty, but not emotionally empty. It's such a weird feeling to describe. I'm having more trouble describing this than I do dissociation, and that's just weird. I mean, well, that's how you describe dissociation, isn't it, really? It's just weird. This is weird too, but it's colder. It's more lonely. It's more isolated. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am, what that person does, or what they're like. And it's hard to figure out right now. I wish I could answer those questions. I wish I could come close to beginning to answer those questions. A lack of sense of self with BPD and a need to be seen with NPD. It's, what do? Do you indulge the NPD? Do you grab that side of your personality and run with it? It wants to be seen, it wants to be watched, it wants to perform and be admired. Do you grab that and run with it and try and live with that the rest of your life? Or do you try and say, no, that desire to be observed like that isn't healthy. You know you're feeding a personality disorder. You have to fight against it. But then you ultimately become unhappy. What if you don't successfully fight against it? One personality disorder would have been nice. That would have made things a little easier, wouldn't it? I don't care which one at this point. Probably just the BPD. Never mind. Let me know what you think in the comments. I love comments. And join the Discord. I love that as well. You lot take care. Stay safe. See you later. Bye.